Mine is like 2 or 3
Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the March meeting of the North Highlands Recreation Park District to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the February 13th minutes. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes? Actually, I have one, even though I wasn't even here. Under call meeting to order, isn't he still the vice chairperson?
Yes, but I just always wanted to put you there.
No, technically it should read vice chair. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else have any? Have a motion to accept with correction?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
One abstention. Next item is chairperson's report. Yeah, I don't even know what month this is, so I'm good to go. Next item is item 4, comments from board members. Anyone? Okay. Reports from standing committees. I know we have a couple items on the agenda. Was there anything else? No. Okay. Then we'll move on to administrative report. Chuck, is there anything you want to highlight or add to your report?
Yes, so there are a couple of things that came up after my report to you was finished. The first one is regarding SETA Head Start contract. As I mentioned at last month's board meeting, the contract is due to be renewed in July. I had made recommendations that we drop that part of the contract that included our maintenance division doing the maintenance for that particular facility. It's not standard practice. We don't do that with our other vendors. Problems that we, as I mentioned before, is that we have to bring staff in earlier than they normally would be, 5 days a week, which takes away from going out. We're short-staffed. When there's holidays that we observe that they don't observe, we have to bring staff in. They have, I brought this up with Head Start. They want a reduction. If they take over the responsibility, they've agreed to take over the responsibility of cleaning, but they want a reduction in rent. They're asking for a $700 reduction. Currently, they pay $23.17 a month. We then dropped it down to $16.17. I told them that this is a decision that would have to go before the facilities committee, and I'm bringing it up now just to get an idea of where the board, what the board's feeling is and regarding it. Do I fight it? Do we acquiesce to it? Do we negotiate?
Personally, I mean, I'd say negotiate. To me, 700 reduction seems a little steep to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, considering I don't believe we've ever increased their rent with cost of living as we can elect to do.
There is a cost of living trigger in there, and I think it goes up.
They're the ones that tell me what the cost of living is.
Okay, so there's an automatic.
They say, well, cost of living went up 3%. This is what the new amount is going to be for rent. I didn't know we were supposed to do it. I didn't.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I guess my question to you is, does maintenance put in $700 worth of time in there every month? I mean, that's the way I would look at it.
I'd have to calculate.
Okay.
I mean, I think I would, whatever my capacity is in the future, I think that it should be probably brought to committee. Okay. And I don't want to lose them as a renter, but right. I think that's a pretty steep bite for us to take, right. And maybe negotiate half that.
Okay. I would say it's negotiable.
Because they do have other facilities, and they are providing, they're paying for the janitorial service right. At the other facilities. Right. So it's not a precedent for them.
No, I get that.
Okay, so I will I'll contact Brenda and try to set up a meeting with you and Sarah sometime in the next couple of weeks. Cape Park Snack Shack. Again, we're kind of at a standstill. Everything is pretty much waiting for the county. The Cal has applied for the demolition permit from Sacramento County. We needed to get a permit from Waste Management which we did, and it was approved, but that when they went to pick up the permit, they said, oh, by the way, you also need to have it cleared by Sac County Air Quality.
That's not Sac County. Air quality is not Sac County.
It's not Air Quality, Sac.
That's not county. That's a special district. That's separate from the county.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I submitted the information. Well, when we took over from the Air Force did an inventory and inspection of all the facilities from Freedom Park to K Park, and specifically it outlined that that particular building, the snack shack, had no asbestos. Well, they're not accepting that. They want a new one done. So that could take another 10 days to 2 weeks. So what I did is I called Cal Inc. again, asked them to recommend an asbestos inspection person. They came out Tuesday and did the inspection. So I'm hoping, well, I'm hoping with this other bureaucratic administration that will move it along. But everybody beyond us doesn't seem to be in a particular hurry for it. Everything else, we've got the $4,000 down payment for the tough shed. We've got that lined up, but it's all waiting.
Right.
Everything's in the queue, and the holdup now is the demolition, which we thought would be the easiest of all the things that we're doing. We have done, I know Little League is hard pressed for a start date. I believe they start this week or the following week. They have nothing up there. We've managed to jerry-rig some electricity so they can at least run their scoreboard and their PA system. But it's not a great situation. And I don't know what else to do because I have no pull with the county.
So is this the county or is this air quality now?
This is air quality. We were still waiting for the permit, building and planning permit to actually put the structure there.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, air quality separated from the
Is
county.
that California? California Air Quality?
No, Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. They're on I Street about 14th or something, somewhere around in there. Yeah.
We're paying for all of these hours that these people are running around doing this. We're also paying for the permits. Luckily, we'll be reimbursed by the insurance company, but that doesn't.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just. It's extremely frustrating for me. It seems like no one.
Okay.
Anyhow, so that's where we are right now. The last thing I have to report on is K&R, the playground.
Yeah.
They started installation Monday. They expect to be done by Friday, maybe that the tan bar put in on Monday afternoon. We've got, providing that the board approves a resolution expanding the budget for K&R and for the snack shack, we'll submit our bill to Capri. The $2,000 deductible for that is coming out of playground structures, so we do have the money for that. And the last thing is, I was approached, you've got a map in front of you. It's from, Mark and I met with this gentleman last week. It was kind of a rush deal. They want to move quickly on this. They're proposing a development of about 300 homes in this area. It's kind of upside down. If you're looking at it here.
The top is going north. The road here is Watt Avenue, and right there is the Walmart there, so you kind of get it.
Didn't we
Yeah,
have
sure.
a conversation about this parcel?
Yes, this is something
Yeah,
that
they
was, a
pulled-
number of years ago, they pulled it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Okay.
they drew
So like
maps already.
Chuck and I were just discussing it, the original location of the park now has moved a little bit, so they're thinking the south side. So the amount that Chuck has highlighted would be the actual development, and the park would be on the south end of that. My question to him is, if the other parts to the west and south get developed, maybe there's a way, depending on who's going to do that development, we could negotiate and just make the park bigger. If not, it'd be in lieu fees maybe. Well, it depends, they may want to put a park someplace else, but it'd be ridiculous to put two small parks that close together. You said what, 3.5 acres?
3.5 acres.
3.5 acres.
And it will be a turnkey park, we discussed that. We also discussed that they would have to sign for the Melrose to maintain the park, groundskeepers and all that stuff. Eventually, if that adjacent area is developed, they would hope to connect it to Cherry Island through pathways, walkways. They're not asking the district for anything other than implying an interest. This would be something that the board would entertain. They seem to be in a hurry to move this along, which is more than we've gotten before. So I told them that if I get the board's feeling tonight and then pass it along to them tomorrow or Monday.
Any questions then?
So do we have any say-so on what type of playground
Yes.
equipment would be
We
in?
do.
So we
Yeah.
can have something similar to KNR,
yeah,
so
we
it's
get-
very
yeah, that's-
visual
right.
instead of having pockets of areas where
Right.
that would be, could be hidden in activities.
Correct.
We discussed parking. Mark brought up the issue of possibly a small youth soccer field,
Oh, yeah.
restroom. So we would basically, or the board would basically say, you want this, and this is the way you want the park done. We either design it ourselves or have them design it with our approval, kind of like we did at KNR.
Can I ask a question? From this map, the development is to the east and to the south of this green belt here, this rectangular?
No, that's the development part, is the green belt.
This is the development.
Yes, the other thing is going to be future development possibly.
This is all future. Okay.
Right, right, okay.
Okay.
The only question I had is that if I look at the little key summary here, it says park 1.5 acres. So is,
Originally, the park was going to be up
Okay,
along
so-
Elk
Yeah, it
River.
was
so that was the
Weird.
original?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
They're modifying this
Yeah,
plan.
that's fine. So does anybody have any concerns or just
No, I think this is a better location, because before it was a weird,
general nod to have staff proceed? Everyone good? Okay.
Okay, great, thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, both of you. All right, anything else, Chuck?
No, that's it, Alan.
Any questions for Chuck?
I do.
Okay.
First one was, Chuck, you mentioned in your report that we had to disconnect, where am I at here? We had to disconnect the power from the burned out snack shack because it created a liability
Yes.
by. the
It was
term-
arcing. We tried to turn it on because a Little League approached us. Because of the fire damage, everything was kind of located in the snack shack.
So my question is, did we?
Yes,
we
we
didn't create
disconnected.
we didn't create a further liability by jury rigging this
No,
up
and
temporarily?
it's locked,
Okay.
yeah.
That was my question, was further liability. And then, as far as you mentioned in the minutes from last month's meeting, that we're still gonna have to contract out for all the amenities, plumbing, electrical, sheetwork stuff that needs to be done inside the tough shed.
Right.
Has that process been started yet as far as lighting?
Can't really do, yeah, I have a contractor that's willing to put in the electrical. We have, Little League provided us with a basic plan of what they would like to see there. So we've got a contractor that will install the electricity, the plumbing, the flooring, and the sheetrock for the interior. Once that's done, then we would still have to go out and buy the appliances that would replace what was destroyed in the snack shack, which is another reason why I mentioned last month and in my board report, someone will probably have to come to you guys to, with another resolution to increase the budget because those costs are unknown right now.
So no request for bids went out on this part of the project, that it's all just, contractor's been selected and
Right.
he's doing partial?
I'm waiting for a paid bid from him.
Gotcha.